I'm going to say something that might upset a few people. The Jumper T15 Pro might just be the best value FPV radio on the market right now. And if that's true, other brands might be in a lot of trouble. See, this radio surprised me, and not in the way that I expected. Welcome then to our review of the Jumper T15 Pro. This particular example is the FPG model, which is the top end version of the Jumper T15 Pro. There are 3 different versions. Let me unbox this first of all, and then we'll talk about the differences in the different versions. Obviously, we've got the controller already out, but let's have a look at what else you get in the box. So it's obviously got the sleeve over it first of all, and then you've got this nice box with a case. And obviously you've got the carry case. You've also got the gimbal cover, which I don't actually have here. I have that in a different room at the moment. You do have a quick start manual. I didn't find this very useful, and the reason for that is it's running a different version of Edgetx with different menu layouts than what is actually in here. So it's not massively useful, and it does tell you a little bit about the radio here. And the rest of it's pretty much about Edgetx. So it's not massively useful, if I'm completely honest with you. You obviously then get a set of stickers, which everybody loves. And then in here we have, you've got a screen protector, which I've not taken out. You've got some spare screws there. You've got a neck strap there. In here you have some button markers and some more different size spare screws, 6x3 M1s. And these are 6x4, I think. Yeah, M1s. And then you have a really cool little keyring here as well. And of course, you've got a USB-C to USB cable as well for plugging it into the PC. That's your unboxing affair done, and we can move on from that now. Let's have a quick look at the differences in the different T15 Pro models. I've got the T15 and the T15 Pro on the desk here because I've only got one T15 Pro to refer to, but I have got the guide from Jumper themselves and I can put it on the screen now. The FPG model basically has everything included in it except for golden metal faceplate with Hall effect gimbals and black metal faceplate with RCD90 gimbals, because it's got the FPG full metal CNC gimbals, which no other model has, and also the gimbal RGB backlight, which again no other model has. It doesn't have a foldable carry handle because it has a leather carry handle on the back. It's got a STM H7 SoC, a 3.5-inch touchscreen, an integrated 2GB SD card, menu button RGB backlights, CNC accented menu buttons and scroll wheel, plated shoulder buttons, CNC trim sliders, foldable carry handle, and so on and so forth. Now, interestingly, one thing we do need to talk about in the spec of all these radios is it lists that it's dual band. 915 megahertz and 2.4 gigahertz ELRS. In my testing, I've only been able to find a single band. Now, it could well be, the battery's low, so please excuse it. It could well be there is no target on ELRS for this radio at this moment in time. So it could well be that when ELRS updates their targets and adds this, we may get a dual banded version. But as it comes to you, there is only the 2.4 gigahertz version. And obviously, if ELRS release anything like that, I'll drop a video showing you guys how to update it. But that's the current situation. Unless I'm doing something completely wrong, I cannot find a way to find that 900 megahertz band in this Lua script. All my testing was done in ELRS 3.3.2 because that is what it ships with, and ultimately I wanted to see how it performs as it ships to you guys, and I've had no complaints. But what I would say is ELRS 4.0 does offer far greater range and penetration from the testing that I've done, but it isn't backwards compatible. So once you update your radio to 4.0, this one is on 4.0, it will not then work with a receiver that's on 3. Whatever. So just bear that in mind, and that's why I held off as well, so that I could test it with all my drones, apart from a couple that I've updated, without having to worry about, oh, do I need to update this and do I need to update that? So that's where we're at with that. We've got a maximum of 1 watt ELRS power. You've got a JR module bay on the back. It's got a built-in 2GB SD card into it as well. And they recommend using 2 times 21700 batteries for it. Weighs about 418 grams when the batteries are not there. And the screen size is 3.5 inch and it's 480 by 320. Okay, let's move on. So we've got the radio out and with us right now. We might as well try an update to 4.0 and see if it unlocks that other band. I don't think it will because it only gives a 2.4 gigahertz target within the ELRS flasher. But nonetheless, we will try it anyway. So plug in a USB from your PC to the controller and down here, change this to USB serial, and I'll see you all over on the PC. So with your controller now plugged in, we're over on the PC. We're going to go to 4.0. You can do show pre-releases, but ultimately 4.0 is the newest release anyway. Device category, we're going to scroll down to Jumper. And again, look, we only have Jumper 900 or Jumper 2.4. In fact, I don't even think there is a T15 Pro on here at all. We've got a T15. Yeah, we don't have a T15 Pro. So actually, I don't think we're going to flash this because it's not worth flashing with the wrong one and potentially causing yourselves all sorts of range and compatibility issues. So we are going to leave it here. I'll go and check over on the ELRS GitHub page and just see if there is any updates about this. And if there is, I'll put them on screen now. Now, the gimbals, I think we have to talk about because this one is really quite loose. And although I've tightened it and I've got a video out there showing you how to do it, it's still quite loose and I'd like it a little bit tighter. But for pilots who like them really loose, and I know there's plenty of you out there, this is ideal. I've managed to loosen this, so this is exactly where I need it and want it to be now. And this feels so much better. The gimbals in this particular model, let me just turn off that because it needs to be charged. The gimbals in this particular model are full CNC gimbals, but when you look at them in comparison to the original T15, they actually look very, very similar. The stick ends are, of course, completely different, but apart from that, they're really, really similar when it comes to the aesthetics of them and the design of them. However, this is how you know you're dealing with something a little bit more quality, because if you listen to this now, and then listen to this one, so you know you are dealing with something that has that extra level and layer of quality. As we mentioned earlier on, you've got CNC around here, you've got CNC around here. These sticks are actually, these switches are actually plastic. This is actually missing the cover. When I took it off last night, I forgot to put it back on, so I need to take it back apart. And we'll do a deep dive when we take it apart the next time, rather than just a quick look at it, because there are a couple of points that I do want to raise with regards to the internals of it. On the top, is very similar to the original T15. You've got your USB and your trainer port. Around the back, as we mentioned earlier, you have got a JR bay in the same way you've got a JR bay there. You've got a leather strap here, and then you've got this handle here, whereas this one obviously was designed to be like that. So again, it's a little bit different, a little bit better. You've got CNC around there as well. And ultimately, when you compare the two of them in the hand, although there is not a massive amount of difference when it comes to the size and the upgrades, on the face of it, actually, the feeling of quality here is a lot bigger than the feeling of quality here. Now, I like this radio a lot. I've been using it a lot recently because I knew that this was coming to me. First of all, thank you very much to Jumper for sending it to me for review. There is no talking points, and they don't expect me to do or say anything with it. They just said, do you want one? And I was like, yeah, okay. However, I wanted to reacclimatise with this because this was one of my favourite controllers of last year. I moved away slightly for a while to the Hello Radio V14 purely because the gimbals are so much better on the Hello Radio V14. However, as a YouTuber, it's always nice to have a very nice looking stick cam, isn't it? And a colour touchscreen gives you a nicer looking stick cam. So we then move back to this. And honestly, it's a lot better quality. It's a lot nicer in the hand, extra features that you don't have with the original, including that potential dual band. You've got the lightning fast H7 processor as well inside it. And as I say, you've got this big colour, lovely touchscreen as well. Is it worth the upgrade if you've got the original? Well, the FPG model, in my opinion, is worth the upgrade. Are the lower end models worth the upgrade? That's going to be a question that's going to be a little bit more difficult to answer, especially as I don't actually have one on me at this moment in time. I suspect Boy Wonder will probably make me get one, so don't worry about it. We'll have one coming, I'm sure. However, there is something that we do need to take a look at. So we need to clear that switch warning, because that's always going to come on, because this is an independent switch. And so no matter where you've left this, you're always going to get that warning when you reboot it. What is also different in this is the menu layout is different than you will have ever have seen in Edgetx before. So you've got manage models here, you've got channel monitor, you've got model settings, radio settings, UI setup, flight time resets, statistics, and about Edgetx. So you can see which version of Edgetx we are currently using. And if you want to flash this version, this release candidate 3 of Queen Anne's Revenge, we do have a video on the channel of how to do that as well. Now, once you're inside these menus, you are going to see more familiarity than what you've had before. If we go to radio settings, we can now see in here, you've got radio settings that you would expect to see. And up here, I'm sure there's going to be a way of, I actually don't think there is. No, I actually don't think there is a way of moving across those at the top without using the touchscreen, which is a little bit of a step backwards, I've got to be honest, but it can be done nonetheless. Let's turn that ADC filter off as well. Now, a question I did get asked, and there is a couple of questions to go through, is how do you set that up? So how do you change the colour of the LEDs based upon your ARM switch or any switch? And what we do is we go into radio settings. And once you're in radio settings, you need to go to global functions. And you can see we've set up a global function for SA up to be green, SA in the middle, SA down to be red, and then SF, which is our pre-ARM, to turn it to blue. So you know that you're in a state of safety. Now you're in a state of less safety. And then as you arm it, it goes to red. To do that, all you do is you would come down here. You would press new. You would press global function, whatever's available. The trigger will be whichever button you want to have it on. So let's just say, for argument's sake, we want it on this switch here. So if we throw this switch to the bottom, it now tells me the trigger is going to be the SC at the bottom. Function, we're going to want it set to be RGB LEDs. The value, you can set it to off, police, red, whatever. So set it to police. Repeat on, and make sure you hit enable. And that's it. You've done it. Throw that switch back up and it will stop flashing like that. So to do this, we'll go through it. So we would set the SA to the up. We'd go to RGB LEDs, we'd set green, we'd set repeat on, and we'd set enable. For this one, for it to be red when it's down, we would set our trigger to be SA down, RGB LEDs, red, on, and enable. And that's it, you've done it. Now, before I finish this review, I do want to point out something that I think Jumper have absolutely killed with this radio. When I got the Bumblebee, I liked it, and I liked it so much that I wanted to change the removable, changeable faceplate on it. But if you saw that video, and if you haven't, it's on the channel, to do that, you have to take the whole radio, and I mean literally the entire radio apart in order to do it. The improvement that Jumper have made here, if we look at the screws here, 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 and here, these are for this faceplate. So you've got to slide these switches off, these just pull off, unscrew these, and this whole blue part of the faceplate will then just pull away. On AliExpress, there's different coloured faceplates available. You can just replace it for the sake of 8 screws. That is a mega improvement, Jumper. Thank you so much, because like I say, that Bumblebee was a nightmare, and by the time I was halfway through it, I was already cursing and saying I really shouldn't be doing this, but I still had the other half to go, so I had no choice but to carry on. I like this a lot. As we draw this review to a close, there's going to be the inevitable question as to what's better, the RadioMaster TX15 or the Jumper T15 Pro. And I'm going to hold off answering that just for now for a few reasons. The biggest reason as to why I'm going to hold off is we don't know if the Jumper T15 is dual band or not, because that will make a big difference to whether or not I recommend it over the TX15. From a purely aesthetic point of view, the bling that you get on the TX15 from RadioMaster does stand out a little bit more than what you get on the T15 Pro from Jumper. Now, some people are going to prefer that. Some people are actually going to prefer a little bit more of a subtle look with the quality that they're getting over the bling that is on offer. If that's you, you might want to look straight away at the T15 Pro because it is a little bit more unassuming, but the quality is all there. Now, when it comes to basic specs, both radios offer a 3.5-inch 480 by 320 colour touchscreen, so you're not losing with either of them there. The buttons are different, the layout is different, and the design choice on both is very different. And that's the thing with radios. It becomes a very personal choice. And what is a good radio to one person is not necessarily a good radio to another. For me, for now, I'm going to continue using the T15 Pro from Jumper. I've asked a few questions with regards to a few of the issues that we've raised in this video. The difficulty is obviously China is now on holiday for Chinese New Year, and I may not be able to update this video or another video until after Chinese New Year has finished. But you are getting a very capable, premium feeling, premium looking, but without the over-the-top bling of other brands in this radio. There is a little bit of a new layout to learn in the version and the design choices that they've used with Edgetx, although I suspect that may be an Edgetx thing moving forward. I haven't updated any of my radios to the brand newest version, so I'm not 100% sure if that's the case at this moment in time. From a range and a feel and an aesthetics and an ergonomics point of view, I've got absolutely no complaints. I asked for a better version of the T15 and Jumper have delivered that with aplomb. We've got a better screen, we've got better gimbals, we've got RGB addressable LEDs across the whole radio. We've got more CNC parts than we had before. We have potentially got a dual band radio in there, although that's to be confirmed at this moment in time. You've got a better speaker, a better layout of the speakers, stronger speaker, a much deeper and richer speaker. And honestly, you're going to see this a lot more on the channel because this might just be my favourite radio of 2026. But I will caution that because I do know there's something coming from other manufacturers. So I'm not going to say this is the best radio of 2026, but what I will say is if you're after a traditional shape, style and size radio, may just be the radio for you. But as I say, it's a very personal choice. If you prefer a gamepad style controller and you prefer something that's blinged out, then I've got something coming in the next few weeks that you're going to be very, very interested in. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, leave a comment, hype the video. Do that sort of thing that helps me in some way that I don't quite understand, but I appreciate it nonetheless. And if you've got any questions over the T15 Pro or you want to see any further tutorials or teardowns whatsoever, then please do let me know in the comments down below. I'll leave a link to purchase one of these. It will be an affiliate link, but that's it. That's the radio that I'm going to be using for the foreseeable future, and you're going to see a lot more of it on the channel. And if it's good enough for me, and I'm a fussy bugger, then you're going to love it. Peace out. YouTube and I have had a chat, and we believe that this is the video that you'll like the most. So watch it and let me know if they're right.